Could you give us sort of any insight into, obviously you've alluded to the fact that you've had consecutive camps with him without actually specifically training for a fight. Could you give any insight into the fundamentals that you've actually been working on with Amir during his hiatus?
Well, when you get a fighter like Amir, you have to start upstairs first, I believe, to get what you want mechanically and physically. I think psychologically and mentally, the mental training was the most important part. And I think we got a lot done. I think that he was able to begin to understand boxing a little bit more and not just rely on those great physical tools that he has. And I feel like that's where the most progress has been, that he understands what to do with his tools, and he understands what tools he has in the shed. So I'm pleased with his mental selection of the sport and how he's began to know when to pull this tool out and put this tool in, pull another one out and pull two out at a time. He's been making some sound decisions.
Okay. I saw an interview with you the other week on BT Sport, and I thought it was a great point that you made about Amir, because your point was about Amir's heart, and you said what I witnessed with Amir, for example, in the Maidana fight, is that if he needs to go to the well, he'll go there. He's got that heart of a warrior. Obviously, you'll be mindful of Collazo's power. Do you agree with people who might say that this is a sort of risky fight to take?
Well, they're all quite risky. Collazo's at great risk himself. It's just not a one-sided affair here. He has to be careful he doesn't get knocked out. So I don't know if his power comes from knocking out Victor Ortiz, who's been knocked out several times. I can even ask you the question, who's the last guy he knocked out before he knocked out Ortiz?
I won't be able to remember.
So you can't answer that. So it's obvious his power is not a standout thing. You know, you can only talk about Ortiz, but you can't go back. But if I ask you who's the last guy that Manny Pacquiao knocked out, you could tell me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's how I determine whether or not power is a factor in the fight.
Yeah.
But giving him his due respect, and any fighter their due respect, if you get caught right at the wrong time, you can be stopped. So that goes for both fighters. But Amir Khan has some tools that can really discourage you from wanting to try to push a knockout. And I think at this stage of his career and development, and where he's dedicated himself, he's going to even be more formidable along those lines. So I like our chances on stopping Collazo just as much as they like their chances on stopping us. So.
Okay, and then final question. He's kind of, Amir's such an exciting fighter, and he's always been renowned for being able to obviously box beautifully, but also to become embroiled in a brawl if the situation presented itself during a fight. You alluded before to the kind of mental aspect of the game. Has it been crucial to instill into Amir that sometimes it's much better to use the boxing over the brawling, which has maybe got him in trouble at times?
Always, and you have to be prepared to take on a young man that exhibits the type of heart that he exhibits. When you take on a young man that fans are used to seeing him in these type of situations, you have to warn him beforehand that he, along with me, are going to take ridicule. For instance, you have people saying that he's regressed, but because today's boxing fan is not that knowledgeable, they don't really understand that he's going through a transformation. And I have to have enough courage in the Molina fight and the Diaz fight to encourage him to box cerebrally. So when fans came looking for 12-punch combinations and didn't get it, they were disappointed. But the fact that he got knocked down in the fight and got back up and finished it, they didn't want to point that out, but any other time he got knocked out in the fight, he didn't finish it. So it was obvious that he grew. I think he got buzzed again in the 11th round, and he smartly survived the round. He went on in his defensive revenge, and he stayed within himself, and he weathered the round. He came back, and he had a big 12th round. So that told me we made progress, that I got it in his head up here that you can get hurt in a fight, but when you get hurt, you have to think. Because nobody remembers how exciting it was. They remember that you got knocked out. Yeah. And fans that look for that type of fight can get you knocked out. Yeah. And then the critics who report on these fights, they're pretty much the same ones take you up and take you down. So you have to know who you are in this sport, and then you have to go along those lines to achieve the greatness within yourself. Yeah. All right. Lovely. Well, yeah, thanks a lot for your time today, Virgil. Thank you. Appreciate it.